Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Renew podcast. I am Kristen Andre, your host, and I am here this morning with the marvelous Miss Mendoza. Good morning.
You know, many famous names have now sat in this seat.
There are a lot of famous names.
I got big shoes to
fill.
I'm not even going to try.
We got Matt, we got Mia, Whitney. If we turn the W upside down, it's an M. So Matt, Mia, and Whitney. You know,
okay.
Our co-hosts have been crushing it. We've been having some fun, and I love this because it's, you know, I get to talk with my friends and my people, and I'm really enjoying it. Today's going to be super fun, and we're going to keep it on the up because here's what Miss Mendoza and I are going to talk about today. And you guys know our whole purpose with Renew is to help you reclaim your business and your life without losing your edge. Because I like things a little edgy.
Yes.
So here's what we're chatting about this morning, my friends. We are going to be talking about negativity and specifically clickbait and all the negative crap that we're seeing online. Because I don't know about you. I'm done with the negative.
I saw that you were done.
I was done.
Last week.
I'm telling you. And because here's the thing. I tend to be positive, and I've told you this before. I get a lot of pushback from people, and people are like, well, you can't be that happy all the time. I'm like, I'm not. I'm ticked off half the time. But why are we putting this out there? But then, you know, you did some research and sent me some really cool articles. People are responding to this. Like it's a psychological thing, which is what was interesting.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the psychology behind it, but I also want to spend some time figuring out how we can improve on it because I don't know, is it just me? Are you tired of the negative too, or is it you good with it?
I am. I feel like I've gotten really good at letting it just kind of go in the background.
Okay.
So I have my sources that I like to go to just to gather information. I kind of like hearing both sides just to know what's happening. It's kind of like your competitor.
I agree with that because I will read. I mean, and the clickbait's right. We're going to talk about that, but it's, I do like to know, like I make my own educated choices and decisions. I don't, and you know, let me start by saying this. I also try not to offend people. I used to. I'm getting where I'm kind of starting to try to offend people now because it just sounds like fun, but it's, you know, I think Matt's rubbing off of me. I don't know, but we're trying to kind of put everything in this nice little bow. And I don't care. I mean, let me be very clear. I don't care what your views are. I really don't. I mean, not you. You, I care because you're in my inner circle. But most people, I really don't care what they think.
Yeah.
If you want to be negative, awesome. If you want to be positive, even better. I'm just going to ignore the negative folks.
Yep.
You know, so it's really one of these things. I do research and do my own on both sides of the table. So if you're listening, I don't care what you think about the pandemic. I don't care if you love Fauci or think he's a buffoon. I don't care if you think Trump did a great job or think he's an idiot. I don't care if you think Biden is the best thing since sliced bread or if you hate him. I don't care. You do you, boo. I mean, that's really, that's kind of where I am. Where I start to get aggravated is it's like everything is just negative. And our brains are loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
So tell me about it, because you read that article, the Psychology Today article.
I did. What's so interesting too is if you haven't seen The Social Dilemma, a lot of this feeds on Netflix. A lot of this feeds into it where it feeds you and you feed it.
Right.
So whatever you click on, you know, if you didn't know, you know now, you're being tracked.
Yes.
Everything
it's starting to freak me out a little bit after watching that because I'll see something.
Yeah.
I thought about something the other day. Thought about it, and it was
in your feed.
It was in my feed.
Yeah.
And I had not Googled. It literally was in my brain, and I have not been microchipped yet. I haven't gotten the vaccine. I haven't done. The chip is not in me. If the chip is in me, I don't know how. I know. I think I could be wrong. If the chip is not in me, I don't know. But I literally thought of something the other day. I'm not kidding. But people are feeding it.
Maybe the machine knew you were going to think that thought because of your other previous searches.
That could be. And what's funny though, some algorithms are messed up. Like Instagram, I don't even know what y'all are feeding me on Instagram. And we're streaming live today on Instagram too.
Live on Instagram and
I know
Facebook.
we're live. Tell me what you're thinking, Instagram, because some of the things that come up on, I'm like, what the heck is this? I mean, it makes no sense. There keep being babies. I don't have babies. I'm not anywhere close to grandbabies yet.
Do you have friends with babies?
maybe I've Googled a baby gift not too recently though. It's strange because I do get the algorithms, and honestly, I have mad respect for the algorithms. One, because I'm a statistics and math nerd, so I love that. But two, it does help us figure out as marketers, as advertisers, what people want to do. And that's, what's interesting is I try to stay positive. I try to focus on the good stuff, and I try to help people, and I don't do the negative clickbait. And I'm thinking maybe we should change I don't want to change our strategy, but that's what's selling. I mean, you're in marketing. You guys have a phenomenal marketing firm. That's what's selling, right?
Yes, but you also, I like being different.
I like being different.
I like being
different is good.
Which is why I love your show, Kristen.
Because I'm different.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you are positive.
And positively nuts on most days.
No. And your show's doing really well too, because you are tapping into your people, which are the people who are tired of the negativity.
Right. That's true. Because I'm very big on finding your people.
Yes.
And I'm very big on finding your uniqueifier, which I always talk about.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is my people, if you really look at, and for those of you guys who haven't read, when I put out You're Not For Everyone last year, it's really about finding your people. And I truly believe everybody has their own set of people that were meant for them, and they're just your folks.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends. I'm very fortunate in that regard, but my inner circle, like they're my peeps.
Yeah.
And they do tend to stay because I'll get away from the negativity really quick. But online and all stuff, the psychology behind it was what was interesting. It said that we naturally do that because it's kind of the fight or flight thing, and that our bodies were conditioned to look for the negative, so we knew how to protect against it, which makes sense when we were cavemen.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, there are still some cavemen around. I've met a few of them. But for the most part, we have evolved from cavemen where we aren't having to make sure there's not a saber-toothed tiger behind us.
Yeah.
But we still psychologically kind of see the negative and go, ooh. And I get, because what the psychology article said was, you see the negative ad and you're like, ooh, that's something bad. I need to learn more about it so I can protect myself from it, which makes sense from a psychological standpoint. But then why do we go down the negative rabbit hole?
We have a comment on Facebook says Wendy Ruth and me and Andre are watching as well, and a couple more others.
Andre.
And then they say Wendy
who
says,
is supposed to be in school right now.
Wendy's over here
attitude.
dropping a Dolly Parton quote.
Go ahead.
See, this is how you know your people, because if you're dropping Dolly quotes, Wendy, I love you for that.
A positive attitude and a sense of humor go together like biscuits and gravy.
See?
Amen.
Thank you, Wendy, because as you guys know, you cannot go wrong with a Dolly quote. I mean, I think the world's problems could be solved. But let's talk about Dolly for a minute. One, because she's Dolly, and for those of you guys that are new to our show, I'm a huge Dolly fan. I called her my spirit animal one time. I got in trouble from my friend Anthony. He's like, she's not an animal. I'm like, okay, that's true. So she's my spirit person, my spirit soul.
Kindred
spirit. But here's the thing with Dolly is she's had some really, if you follow her or studied her at all, she has had some crazy, just tough things happen to her throughout her life, especially growing up. And she's so positive. She's just, no one likes Dolly. She has a better approval rating than like Mother Teresa. Like, I read that in an article, so I'm sure it's true. But
100%.
It's true though.
It's because it's hard work. So
to be positive?
Yes. You have to work at it. It's super easy to be negative. It is so easy to be. And this Psychology Today article taps into the fact that we have a built-in brain apparatus that is more sensitive to negativity.
Well, that's that fight or flight thing.
Yes. So we pick up on that first. So it's kind of like you have to fight against that part of self to then step away and view the situation from a different angle.
And it's recognizing that part is natural and innate to us. Because if we think about it, one of the articles I read was about relationships. And if you really think about it, all right. So you can probably remember the one time Isaac may have said something negative about anything you were wearing,
I got a list.
haircut, anyway.
Yeah,
most of us can remember. I remember that one day in 1992 when I put on a pair of pants and Sean said, "Are you wearing this?" I mean, most of us remember things like that. But do you remember as, readily the million compliments he gave you?
Yeah, right.
And so we're programmed to think about it. And that's what we were reading. One of the articles I read said that you sent me said it was like a 5-to-1 ratio. You need 5 positives to 1 negative. And that couples that were able to kind of overdo the positive, then those relationships worked, which I totally get that. And it's when the balance gets off that they really start to falter relationship-wise. But I think life is like that.
It is.
So if we could keep a balance, I'm not saying ignore everything negative, because we need red flags. I mean, heaven forbid, I ignored some red flags throughout my life, and it did not work out well. So we need the negatives, but it's the 5-to-1 ratio or 10-to-1, whatever it is, but it's not 1-to-1.
It's really.
Rob says, sorry guys, on Facebook, find out who you are and do it on purpose.
Another Dolly.
See, Dolly. My Dolly friends are coming in. Thank you, Rob. That's true though. But Dolly, she is who she is. And we need to just do an episode on Dolly, because she's got tons of wisdom and she gives back, which I love. She does a lot of charitable things, but she is very clear in who she is. And always, when I say find your uniqueifier, I mean, what is it about you that nobody else has? She has this charisma and this, I'm me. This is me. Love it or hate it, take it or leave it. This is me. And I love that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Part of it, I mean, again, where she looks though, because if I've got 5 pieces of negative information coming at me to my every one positive, you also have to make a conscious decision to look for good things. And a lot of that has to come with, you're right, it is a balance of don't ignore the red flags, because there is crap that happens in life.
Yep.
But it's also not everything is bad. I mean,
no,
not everything is bad.
Not everything is bad at all. Because there are good things if you can find it. Like I consciously make a choice, and I think kids are better than this. And we're gonna have Mia back in, because she did good in her co-hosting duties. So it's not Mia, if you're still listening and not in class. She does do virtual, so she is very good at multitasking. But kids are good at figuring out the things that they like. Mia loves doing stuff. She loves music. She loves the stuff like that. So she absorbs that type of stuff. So she makes a conscious effort to do that. And then Kennedy, I should mention, since our show today is being sponsored by Just Beat It Jewelry, my youngest.
I want this necklace.
I know. Isn't it cool? Those you can see my necklace.
Yep, right straight in front of you.
Yeah, it's what's really cool is, and the reason I bring this up now, besides I promised my child I would plug her new jewelry line, is she can go to the negative because she's a kid, right? And kids in middle school and in high school really struggle because there's all these negative messages. So I asked her a while back, what do you enjoy? Like, what do you have fun with? And she likes makeup, she likes interior design, she likes jewelry. I'm like, okay. So my aunt came over, taught her how to make jewelry, and she's made this really cool stuff. And I did, she did say that I could borrow the necklace today. I've not purchased it from her yet, despite the fact I funded the business. But she said I could borrow it today. But she's making these really cool necklaces. But what's cool is it was fun to sit and watch her just do that. Because normally, as a child, she would be absorbed in YouTube or just watching videos or anything like that. And it's been kind of cool to sit there. She's been obsessed with it. We just started last weekend. So she's been obsessed with it, and she wants her website and all that. And then the same thing with Mia. Mia's really into comedy and music. So if they can find the positive stuff to just dive into, then you don't pay as much attention to the negative. But I feel like we spend so much time like, oh, here's a negative rabbit hole I can go down.
Yep.
And I have a friend like this, and I'm not going to mention his name. I don't even know if he watches the show, so I probably could. But he's, and he has had a tough past few years. I get that. But everything is he's got this negative, like, just draw and pulling at him. And he's such a positive person when he wants to be. But I think the focus and everything and I get you're trying to focus on healing and getting past all the negative stuff. Totally get that. But at some point, you got to balance that, to your point with that ratio, the 5-to-1, the 10-to-1, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it works the same if you feed the negativity within you.
Yep.
Then that continues to breed more negativity.
Well, it's that old, isn't there like an old proverb about like whatever wolf you feed or that's who grows.
Yeah, that is true.
So it is the same concept.
Yep.
But marketers know this. I mean, you guys own a marketing firm. I mean, I will say though, you guys do tend to do positive, fun stuff. Yeah. I will say, out of the campaigns I've seen you launch for your clients at Liger, you guys do tend to stay on the positive.
Yep.
So that's the, getting away from the unicorn stuff.
Unique-ifier.
It's the unique-ifier. But it also helps, I think it helps people because if we can learn to do that, but we've got to make a shift. I mean, it's a big old ship with a P to turn around, because we've got to make the shift where as consumers, that's what we're paying attention to.
Yeah.
And I don't mean all the time. I think we need to know the negative, but we got to flip the ratio.
Yeah. Well, we're even that way, when it comes to comparing companies, right? Like, because again, marketing, you want to stand out from your competitors. So instead of saying something bad about them, tell me why you're different. I've used the analogy before that I could throw a pin off this building and hit 5 other marketing firms. Yep. My job is to convince you why you would want to work with us over, the others. So, but the other one that was really interesting, this was from the Reputation X blog.
That was a good blog. Yeah.
And I feel like this one was the one that really jumped out and spoke to me, was grim and dark is more visible on bright white.
I read that. I thought that made so much sense.
Doesn't it?
But here's the thing. It made sense. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. We're not at bright white. Bright white means we got enough positive out there that the negative stands out. Right now we got a bunch of negative. So we could flip that and say, okay, there's so much negative. The negative is the bright white, the blinding light that's coming at us. So what stands out is going to be the one positive.
Yeah.
And I'll, like you said, I do tend to stay on the positive when I post and when I do stuff. And my negative stuff I have, but I share it with my own little circle. I don't need to broadcast. Y'all don't need to know my business. Well, first of all, I'm very private with my private life. I get that I share stuff about my kids and friends and things like that, but it's pretty curated. I mean, let's be real. It's, everything's not unicorns and rainbows, as you know, but it's been interesting is the clients that I tend to get, that I'm fortunate enough to work with, are the same way.
Yep.
They're positive.
Yes.
Because that's part about finding your people. Because if you're sitting there and clicking on negative stuff, your feed from the algorithm is going to be all negative.
Right.
You're going to see the friends of yours that post negative stuff, because that's what Facebook is telling you it's feeding you. So you're going to find your negative people. Cool. Y'all go have a little negative party. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But when I search positive stuff and when I post positive stuff, the clients that find me and the prospects that come to me and the people that either want to work with me from a coaching or consulting standpoint or have me come in and speak, they're positive. So the cool thing with that is I'm finding my people.
Yep.
I just want more people to find positivity because it's just better. It's just more fun.
Yeah.
Life's too short to kind of walk around bitching and complaining all the time.
We have a comment on Facebook from Rob as well. It says, it's the law of attraction. You attract what you focus on. My ex went through life with a scowl on her face. Couldn't handle it. Though to go through life with a big smile if you focus on negative energy.
That's true. I mean, because that's true, Rob. And that's probably why she's an ex, because you're not. I mean, and Rob, I follow you on Facebook. So I know you post, and Rob posts happy stuff because he's got a new grandbaby. So that's all happiness too. So it's, excuse me, you get to kind of see your people. And like even the people that I follow that follow me on Facebook, I know who's positive and I know who's not. And that's what I tend to comment. Now, I make a conscious choice to comment on the positive stuff because then more of it shows up in my feed because I know how that works. But it's true. Like some people just walk around and they're just mad. They got their big girl panties all in a wad. And they're just mad.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Y'all want to be mad? Keep your madness over there. But I think it's a lot better if you can just find the good stuff.
Well, and then it's kind of like, don't be mad that you're mad. If you chose to be mad.
What is that about? Yeah.
You chose to be
pissed
mad.
off that I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Like you can't be mad that you were surrounded by bad because you decided that's what you wanted to fill your space with.
And I'm not trying to say be all Pollyannish because I know bad stuff happens. And obviously,
no
here's the thing.
rose-colored glasses.
We're in March, as you astutely pointed out to me this morning, which I kind of had forgotten. Let me just throw this out there. Last March was not good to us. Last March started all this crap that we've been in for the last year.
She's bad.
I'm not happy with March. So this March, I've decided my March is going to be good. I'm not listening to any of the crap. Y'all start throwing bad stuff at me. I will get my Wonder Woman shield out.
Because you know what we're going to hear, right?
And I'll be deflected.
March, 1 year later. Like everyone's going to
I know.
1 year after
why
COVID.
We're worse off 1 year later.
Yeah, no,
how we might have another year.
Don't come at
shit.
me with that.
Can we say shit?
We can. We just did.
But it's true. Okay, now Tran just said be the good, and Tran's in my inner circle. You know, she's all positive.
Yep.
And you know, the be the good is Tran, I know, has, you know, a lot of charitable things she does as well that focuses on kids doing good things and kids doing volunteer. There are enough good things out there that we can focus on. I just want people to start choosing that. I'm not saying don't have a bad day, but if you have a bad day, do me a favor, call your buddy, have your phone a friend. This is when you use phone a friend. Wasn't that in like one of the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So you got to phone a friend. That's what negative days are for, is just phoning the friend.
Yeah.
Being able to say, all right, Whitney, I'm having a crappy day. And I do that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll have clients that text me, talk me off a ledge. Okay, let's talk you off the ledge.
Well, that's where making that decision comes into play too, because even in your business, like we were talking about, most of the campaigns that we do are positive.
Yes.
That's because I feel like that's who we attract. And we go off that vibe, right? Like you can
for sure
just go to any of our platforms. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that could mean you lose money or you're saying no to someone who doesn't line up. But my goodness, sometimes it's worth it.
Here's the thing. I'm really strict with this on my coaching clients. And most of my clients are in professional services. So we've got a lot of, you know, advisors, attorneys, you know, we've got stylists, we've got artists, we got all kind of people. But they deal with clients, right? They're B2C type of companies and organizations. One of the things I'm strict with them about is finding your people. So if you're trying to stay positive and your clients are going to the negative, they're not your people. I will tell you, I have fired clients before that are negative. I would rather the money is not so important that you need to be miserable with the people you're working with. I mean, fortunately, I have a great client base, but I'm really picky about who I take on as private clients. You know, whoever wants to come sit in an audience or do whatever, that's cool. They start heckling, I'll throw things. But if, you know, from a client perspective, you don't have to take them. I mean, none of us, even you guys that are listening, even if you're in startup mode, you don't have to take people that drain you. And I've said this, I will say this until y'all are taking the dirt nap, is if somebody is draining your energy, if they're not bringing you energy or moving you closer to your goals, you need to say no. Yeah. Like you truly need to say no. And it needs to be both. If they're moving you closer to the goals because they're paying you a lot of money, but you're miserable working with them, get out. Don't work with them. It's the same thing with a job. Like and there's some of y'all listening, because I have heard y'all complain on the interwebs about your job. If you hate it that much, if it is nothing but a energy suck, change. Go to a different company.
Yeah.
There are people hiring.
What's so interesting is it ties back in. Again, I'm looking back over this Reputation X of negativity bias and chemical romance.
I immediately thought of the band when I read that.
I did too. I did too. That totally came to my mind. I'm like, now I'm going to be listening to that all day.
I know.
It says feeling good means protecting ourselves from threats, and to do so, we must identify bad things. Unfortunately, we've become pretty good at it over time.
Right.
So that kind of speaks back to you do have to. We're not saying to ignore the bad.
No, not at all. You have to ignore.
Yes.
I did not ignore the bad, those red flags I was talking about. In a lot of things I did.
And that in your job, in the clients you take on,
the guys that you date.
The guys that you date, the people you hang around.
Yeah.
If you don't view the bad, you won't know what good is. Like we have to experience that to know. What we're saying is be aware and conscious of the beast.
Exactly. Not ignore the bad, because you do need to know the bad. But think about the ratios. If we do nothing more than think about, all right, there's a ratio. I need to pay attention to the bad, but use it as an information gathering tool, not as a let me live there. Bad things are going to happen. You need to learn about them so you don't repeat them. I'm a big believer in God will teach you the same lesson over and over again until you have learned it. I was a very slow learner for a few decades of my life.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade that for the world. You need those lessons. So we need the negative, but don't live there. It is
Lost
a choice
in the wilderness.
It is a choice to live in the negative. And that's what I think has been frustrating for me to watch, is some people, you just want to shake them. Adults, I think you can shake. Don't shake babies. But adults, I think you can. You just want to just smack them and shake them and going, "What are you doing? Wake up!"
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a matter of saying, "Don't ignore it," but let's tip the ratio a little bit.
I'm laughing because I
You're
literally
shaking somebody.
No, well, actually, then I pictured conspiracy theory Matt.
Oh, conspiracy Matt
coming in, because the other thing is you have to realize that there are forces working against you.
Yes.
Like, Facebook wants to feed you the bad stuff. You have to, and I know that, maybe that sounds kooky.
Have you guys we've got Conspiracy Whitney here. Matt, you have company.
But it's true. Like, they are feeding you the bad stuff.
All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. Because we did talk about social dilemma, and I agree. And here we are live streaming, so if the stream gets cut, we're going to know.
That's right.
But here's the thing. They do want you to focus on the bad. And I will tell you why. This is going to get me in so much trouble. So if my page is banned, please just visit me somewhere else. I like to promote a lot of the podcast. Yes. And I had boosted a couple of them just so more people can see it, to boost the post and get it out to a greater audience. A couple of the ones I tried to post and boost were declined.
On what ground?
Debt. Because I used the word debt and I used the word you in the same sentence. I was not allowed to use the word debt and use the word you in the same sentence because I was trying to get people to take responsibility for the fact they were in debt.
I'm sure.
Because I said, are you, do you realize part of the problem, or do you? I can't remember exactly. I screenshotted it because I saved it. But when I reworded it to take the blame off of people, then it was fine.
Now, it is the credit card company's fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For giving me such a high limit.
Shut up. But you don't have to use the limit with it. But what I'm saying is what it said is the community standards I violated because I was blaming other people. So here's the thing. It's like, I get that. And that is negative, me blaming other people. So one would think, but who's paying to run all these ads? Who's paying for? So it's the advertisers. This is why the algorithms do that. If that post had run and I helped people take responsibility and get more fiscally sound, they wouldn't be charging as much. If they listened to that episode, they would know that debt sucks, right? But they didn't because the post couldn't be boosted. So they're still in debt. And the credit cards who spend gazillions of dollars in advertising are still making money. But so I was a little mad. I did reword it. We were able to do it, but it really started getting me thinking like the advertisers are the ones that are controlling our minds at this point. That's conspiracy Whitney, conspiracy Matt, maybe a little conspiracy Kristen. We've got to understand that this is a mind word I won't say on the air. It's a mind trap.
Yeah,
it is because you've got to be conscious of it. So you get to control what goes in your mind, which is cool.
We have a couple of people on Instagram. We have Danny B09, Allison, FW Style. We have BR on the Rocks, Live with Lisa Washington.
You say Harry Styles?
Harry Styles is
close.
No. FW Style, Alex, I like it. So we got some good people. I'm glad this is the first time going on live on Instagram. So we just thought we would add another platform in case I happen to get banned from one.
I was going to say
they're all owned by the same people, so I'm still in trouble. But let's talk about that for a minute. We get to control what's put in our minds. The advertisers are influencing it. Yep. But what I'm saying is we get to control what we buy. We get to control what we do. So just be mindful. If you're going to click on the negative, and I do click on, I'm as guilty as everybody with these clickbaits. So if I click on something, it's because I'm trying to learn, but I'm balancing it out with the good stuff.
I 100% want to know what that celebrity looks like 50 years later. Do you get those? I get those.
Because I'm 50 years later.
What she looks like now is astonishing.
I will say I did click on that one. And here's one of the things. Let me explain to you what's going to happen when you click on what, whoever the people looks like.
Advertisements for retinol cream.
You're going to get that, and it's going to take an hour and a half to get to the one picture you wanted to see.
Oh, that's true.
So I have clicked on those because I'm as guilty as everybody. I'm curious, right? So you click on them, and you're like, I don't have the attention span, but I could see where you go down a rabbit hole because I'll click on it is 30 seconds of my life I'm not getting back and I still have not found the picture I'm looking for. So I click off.
Yeah.
But a lot of times once you click on one, then another one pops up. Then another one pops up. So if you want to see what the celebrity looks like 50 years, what the celebrities' houses really look like, all this stuff, I don't know. I
only clicked on the one, okay?
I know, Whitney. I know which one you're talking about because I saw it pop up.
But you made a good point because I'm the same, talking about clickbait and how we all typically are. Because if I get 5 tips for XYZ, I'm going to go read the 5 bolded tips and I'm not going to read the rest of it.
Yes.
But that's how we do with everything else. We're skimming it.
Yes.
And same thing. So even when you click on this negative information, what is very interesting to me, so much of it is not the full information. So you're feeding yourself with like bad stuff and it's not even real bad stuff.
Right. It's fake bad stuff.
It's fake bad
stuff.
It's
curated, but everybody curates. And that's kind of why I'm saying you get to choose what you put in your mind. Like my kids tease me all the time because they're like, you only post the good pictures. I'm like, well, of course, I'm not going to post the horrific pictures of me. Do I take bad pictures? 98 of them are bad. The 2 I post are the ones that weren't scary looking. But that's the thing is we all get to control what we post and we all get to control what we take in.
Well, then that goes
So if you don't like what you're taking in, quit taking it in.
Yeah. That goes back to, though, not everybody needs to know your business.
But I think, some people, and this is where, I may be making a leap here, but I feel like the people that are posting all their business are the ones that skew negative. Because the people that are airing their dirty laundry, they either don't have a friend telling them, seriously, like if you post something, if you and Isaac getting in a fight, not y'all aren't going to get in a fight because y'all are so sweet, but in a hypothetical world, if you guys got in a fight and you started posting, just ranting on him on Facebook, I would call you and go, Whitney, what the hell? Seriously. And you'd probably take it down.
Yeah, I was going to say, first you'd be like, first you need to delete that. Number 2.
What's going on?
What's your problem?
But here's the thing is some people want to air their dirty laundry.
100%.
But I would go on a limb and say those are the same people that are clicking on the negative stuff. So my point is, you it's a choice. So if you don't like the negativity of the world, and I did this, I made a conscious choice when Hell March got here, that saucy little month. That's when it got here last year. I just made a choice. I stopped watching. I don't watch the news anyway because there's nothing good on the news.
Nope.
And I have a lot of people that are in TV news, and I still don't watch it.
Yeah.
But unless they're doing like a feel good story, like my friend Lisa's on the news, but she's cooking stuff. That's great. That's fantastic. I'll watch that. But you're making a choice. So when all this happened, I wasn't as freaked out about everything as a lot of people because I just wasn't tuning it in.
Yep.
So if you're, my theory is if you're miserable, if you're one of those miserable people with life, quit paying attention to the miserable stuff and find you some good, fun folks to hang out with.
Wendy says, read Get Out of My Head by Jenny Allen.
Oh, I haven't read that, Wendy. Get Out of My Head. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Have you read that one?
I have not, but I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. That's a clickbait title, Wendy.
Yes, it is.
Is it positive though? That's what we're wondering because I don't. There are a lot of little people running around in my head on any given day.
Maybe she gives tips on how to.
Yeah, Wendy, drop us a comment. Let us know what that's about. Is it a how to get people out of your head? Because I like the negative people, or not negative. I like the positive people in my head.
Yeah,
those people can stay there. They can live there. It's the second guessing people that it is.
Oh, yeah, she said it's a very good book.
Okay, perfect. We'll have to check that out. We might have to do one on those, a follow-up episode. I like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, and I'd love you guys' thoughts or comments, because how do we change the narrative? Because we know we're not going to change the algorithm. There's some really smart math people working at Facebook.
Well, you know what
Google.
I was thinking is, because we have our Ladies of Liger book club.
Yes.
And every now and then we'll pick a book that the whole group reads, and then we come together and discuss it. And what a big responsibility we have as, number one, as a leader, me, asking someone to read something, me as a marketer that's creating and putting things out there for others to consume. What a big responsibility we have to choose and decide what side we're going to be on to influence others. It's just like salespeople, right? Like I'm reading Jordan Belfort's Way of the Wolf.
Oh, it's good. I'm sure it is.
You don't like Jordan?
I'm not a Jordan Belfort fan. Well, I'm really not.
I mean, because he went to jail for, fraud and other things.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, that one. But in the book, he's talking about how he realizes that even though you have the skill to sell anything to anyone, doesn't mean you should.
Okay, so now I'm liking Jordan a little bit more because in the movie, I thought he was
and then he went to jail.
DB in the movie. Yeah,
he went to jail and came out a little bit better.
All right, so I should Jordan, I apologize. I should probably read the follow-up because when I watched the movie, I was like, you know what, good?
Yeah.
Glad he went to jail. He was a perv. He was this. He was rude. That's all that negative stuff I didn't like.
Yeah.
But you raise a good point. It's part of why the negative culture exists. I get fight or flight, get that, but that's where the balance comes in. But where the balance tips, where we're consuming too much negative stuff, it's because the marketers are doing it because they know it's going to make money. Their whole goal is to make money.
100%.
And if there were more firms like Liger that said we're going to help people, good people that want to spread a positive message, we'd be great. But the money is overweighing common decency. The money is overweighing not caring. This, and this is a follow-up kind of to the debt in the educational system. A lot of the systems, here we go with the conspiracy, good Lord with us. A lot of the systems are what they don't care. I really don't think they care. I think they're worried about making money. And I think, so here's, the credit card companies, we pay off all our debt. Guess how much they make?
Nothing.
Right?
Yep.
Nothing. So do they want us to pay off debt?
Of course not.
Right. So they learned how to sell that. They're never going to do an ad that's like, you're in all this debt. Your life is going to suck. You are beholden to your person, which there's some Bible verses in that if you want to look it up.
Yep.
But they're going to now their ads are going to be more positive. Look at this beautiful pool you can build. Look at this vacation you could take. But you've got to start looking at what the outcome of that is. Because I do feel like companies they realize where our little hot buttons are. They pull on those little heartstrings. Not Dolly's heartstrings. Dolly's heartstrings is a fantastic show on Netflix.
They're made of gold.
They're made of gold. But there's in the Dolly's heartstrings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so good. I think you turned me on to that.
Yeah.
I binged watched the whole thing. I don't watch TV, but it was Dolly. So
yeah.
But I mean, how do we do that? How do we ignore? It's almost like we need a filter to say good for me, bad for me.
Yeah.
We've lost the good for me, bad for me.
Well, and some of it's acting in the moment. I mean, I will be that person that if I followed you for whatever reason and then you start that yik yak, the next time I come across it, I'm like, I don't really need to see this. And so I just unfollow.
And I've said that before. I have friends that I've hidden. I have friends and family members that they're not out of my life. I have not cut them off, but they are negative and I hide their stuff. I'm not unfriending them, but I just curate my feed where I don't see it. You can hide posts, you can hide person, and they won't show up. So I guarantee you, if you do nothing more today than say, here are the 5 people that get on my last nerve when I'm online, hide them. Just do yourself a favor and hide them.
And even if there's someone that you have to see in person, structure your time, make sure it's a limited amount of time, and then go do something fun afterwards.
Well, and you can unfollow people in real life.
Oh, this is true.
I know it's crazy. I call them small dose people. I call them small dose people or group. Because, I have my grass growing group people. Like that's how I segment my own little life. And grass means these are my inner circle. These are the people I will hold on to for dear life. And you call me at 4 a.m, I am there. That is a very small group. My grow group is like, I like these people. They're my people. I want to get to know them better. I want to know how I can help them. I want to see how we can, just grow our relationship. And then there's my group. So grass growing group. My group are the ones like, I'm good in a group. And we all have these people. Yeah. And I don't tell somebody.
That's good though.
Wait. I don't tell somebody what group they're in. Like my inner circle knows they're my inner circle. Yeah, but other than that, I'm not telling you if you're in my grow or my grass or group. But you guys, if you're listening, you have these, you know who they are.
Yeah.
So if somebody's in your group, and then even like the subset of the group is your small dose people. Your small dose people are like, for the love of all things holy, if there are not 10 other people around me, I might smack this person. Those are small dose. That's okay.
That's a good point though. Don't go solo.
Don't go solo.
That's
no.
such a good point.
You never go solo to a group
yeah.
or to heaven forbid a small dose is like you send a small dose, you're sending a voicemail. Right. And then you're sending the text. Oh my God, so sorry. I got to go to bed. I'll call you tomorrow.
Michelle,
no, I'm not saying be
okay,
mean
wait,
about
no,
it.
Isaac, I want to say it because this is a mic drop.
I know. I was just about to say this is fire.
No, I'm saying it.
Okay, you can say it.
Michelle said, y'all, just get quiet for a moment and listen
It's
to
good.
this. Unfriend the negative thoughts in your head.
Michelle Thomas with the win today. She broke the interwebs.
100.
It's so true. Michelle, that was, you're smart, girl. See, Michelle's one of those smart, positive people. But I will say that, no, because I do know Michelle personally. Michelle is always positive. And I'm sure you have, I know you have bad things happen and things like that, but you always go out of your way to be friendly to people and kind to people and help people. But that's a great point. Unfriend the negative thoughts in your head. Because I think, that's a good point, because we're spending a lot of time talking about online and the advertisers and kind of how they or the man is holding us down. But a lot of it's what we're choosing to think.
Yeah, that is true. Actually tap into up here where we give headspace to.
I feel like if we could feel more headspace, like the stuff we consume is one. And then to Michelle's point, the stuff that we're keeping and allowing to just percolate in our head.
Yeah.
And I downloaded that Secret app. And you know me, it's a big, the book, The Secret, the Law of Attraction. And I think Rob said that earlier, the Law of Attraction. It's a little woo-woo. You know how I am with the woo-woo because I'm a strategy girl. But I downloaded that app last year because I've read the book, The Secret, and it's the Law of Attraction and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool. But what's interesting is a lot of it's a daily thing. You can it just tells you something each day. And some of them I'm like, okay, that's cool. But some of them I'm like, ooh, that's good. And a lot of it goes to this. It's like what you're thinking. And it does give you some strategies on a few of the days, not enough, but a few of the days where you can kind of turn it off. Like, you'll catch yourself because we know I call it the rabbit hole. And I say this with my youngest because I call it spiraling. She'll spiral.
Yeah.
Like she could go from here to in like a second. And so, she'll start going in on something like, well, I've got to study and I've got a test tomorrow and blah, blah, and it just goes downhill. And I'll stop her. I'm like, you're spiraling. Go take a walk. Go read a book. Go do something. Eat a popsicle. Here's some candy. Quit spiraling.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's getting rid of the negative thoughts. Unfriending the negative thoughts.
That's
fire.
Easier said than done.
T Mason on Instagram has joined us, and Jake Jr. has joined us as well.
We've got all kind of people. I'm glad we're doing Instagram today. So hello, Instagram folks. We like seeing this. But I would love if we could all just commit. Let's have a little pack. Let's have our little Renew group, our little Renew community make a pack. Because we have our private Renew community, as you know, because you're in it. And we'll post a link to it because that's the people in that. They're all growth oriented. These are the grow folks. These are the ones. Now, if you don't want to grow, if you are happy in your negative thing, stay there. You're cool. Do not come hang out with us though, because I will beat that negative out of you. You cannot sit at our table.
You can't sit at our table if you're negative.
It's true. But but what's interesting is in the Renew community, they're all helpful and trying to help. And
100%.
we are doing some live events too. I'm very excited. Mm-hmm. This March is not coming after me. We are not. It is.
No.
I refuse to let this March go by like last March. I have declared, because I'm going to be positive, I've declared that I'm out of this. We're going, safely. I'm not going out licking signposts or guardrails or anything yet.
Yeah, don't do that.
Maybe. We'll see what next month looks like. All right, so let's talk about that. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to think about unfriending those negative thoughts. We'll give Michelle credit for that because I think that's great. Yes. But I also want you to curate your feed and curate your people and really try to figure out, who do I need to get rid of? What do I need to get rid of so I can tip the ratio? I'm not saying ignore all negative things because we need that for protection.
Yeah.
But I'm saying tip the ratio. Assess where your ratio is. The article said it should be 1 and 5, 1 negative to 5 positives. That was focused on relationships. But I think in life in general, I'm probably at 10 to 1. I think 10 to 1 is good for me. Maybe 8. Maybe on a bad day, it might be 2. That's what wine's for.
I love this.
What do you think?
So much.
What do you think the folks
I think it's a movement that's hashtag tip the ratio.
Oh, I like that. Do we come up with a new shirt?
We did.
Our Renew merch that we're doing.
Which you were getting requests on Instagram. merch.
Yeah, we did. Tommy, who was listening, I know it said we actually have been looking into a Renew merch line because we come up with some really cool little things here. But I like the tip the ratio.
Kennedy can design it,
and I like that's right. We've got my designer now in the family. So and Mia is she'll work on our creative side. So. All right, that's kind of what I wanted to get out to the group is I want you guys to be positive. So if you are going to continue, which we would love, this is your safe place to be positive.
Yeah.
This is your place where we talk about some negative and tough topics on here, like the debt and the educational system, because they're broken. And the reason that we talk about them is not to focus on the negative, but it's so we can make some friggin' changes and improve things. Because I am tired of the status quo. I'm tired of just riding in the comfort zone because it's always been there. So let's do some cool stuff, and so we can all improve.
Yeah.
Personally, professionally, financially, whatever it is. Let's just get some good stuff going.
This is a great month to start.
Let's start in March. We are saying March 2021, I am declaring it right here on the Renew podcast, is going to be the start of all good things.
Amen.
All good things.
Amen.
All right, Miss Mendoza. Thank you for being with me and being so positive as always.
Oh, thanks.
As always, it's the Liger in you. I can tell.
Thanks.
I can tell.
Rawr.
All right, guys. Thank you. Whether you joined us on Facebook, Instagram, any of the other platforms, live, or if you're catching the replay, thank you so much for being here. We have got some more great topics with my fantastic cast of co-hosts. So we will be back with you again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Renew. We'll see you then.